Mga ate at mga kuya, welcome back to Kuya Puto's channel. The last several days, ever since February happened, napakadami pong nangyayari ngayon sa mundo, sa Canada, sa US. Trade wars. Yes guys, trade wars. So, there's a debate going on right now. Sino ba mananalo dito sa trade war na to? Now, is it gonna be Canada or the USA? Ano ba yung mga strengths nila? Ano ba yung mga weaknesses nila? What do they have to bring to the bargaining table? Yun ang pag-uusapan natin dito sa video clip na to. So mga ate at mga kuya, for all of those people that is not aware, USA, the Americans, are our biggest trading partner, ally, friends, cousins, whatever you want to call it. We've always had a great relationship for forever, many, many years. But recently, there seems to be a lot of tension, right? And marami po nagsasabi kasalanan ni Trump, marami nagsasabi kasalanan ni JT dahil masyado siyang, I'm not gonna say the word. Anyways, sino ba talaga mananalo? Who has the advantage? Kung magkabanggaan talaga. Is it Canada or is it the United States? I did a little bit of research. Kuya Puto is not really into politics, but like I said in my previous videos, right? Interesado ako sa pera. I'm interested in money and how it affects you and me, and how we create wealth. And unfortunately, what's going on right now in the world, dito sa Canada and the US, connected yan eh. So, let's start off with this. Who cares who wins? What matters and what's most important is kung sino talo dito. Because at the end of the day, talo dito tayo eh. The normal average working person. That's you and me. Let's get that out of the way. Okay? So, talo dito is yung tao, tayo. But realistically, if we had to go break it down, who has the advantage? My previous videos, I've been reading the comments, and obviously Americans, will favor Americans, Canadians will favor Canadians. But realistically, based on numbers, pag-usapan natin, okay? So, did you guys know, kapwa Canadians out there, that 77% of our exports goes to the US. Yeah, 77%. In other words, they are our best customers for the longest time. And that's the truth. Ano ba yung na-export natin sa kanila? Dairy, energy, gas, lumber, steel, mga ganon, di ba? Those are like the most popular ones. And isipin nyo, napakalaking numero yun. Okay? There's a lot of people making a lot of money. There's a lot of companies employing a lot of people. So guys, just to give you an idea, dito po sa Canada, maraming American-based companies, corporations na nag-ooperate dito. Let me mention to you a couple just in case you're not aware. General Motors, car company, GM, they operate in Canada, American-based. Ford, they operate in Canada, American-based. Believe it or not, it's like 5 minutes away, the big Ford plant, it's 5 minutes away from my mom's house in Oakville. And it's been there forever. Boeing, they manufacture aircrafts, okay? Airplane-related products, stuff like that, right? Caterpillar, heavy equipment, American-based. John Deere, yes sir, American-based. 3M, I think the last time I was in London, Ontario, I saw a big, humongous 3M plant there, American-based. Procter & Gamble, PepsiCo, Coca-Cola, General Electric, Walmart, Costco, just to name a few. All of those American companies, they operate here and they employ thousands, if not millions of Canadians. And Canadians benefit from that. Because you know why? It provides them with a career, it provides them with an income para po mabayaran nila yung bahay nila, para po mabayaran yung kotse nila, para po they can put food on the table, so they can pay their bills, so they can send their kids to school. So it's huge. It's huge. And just imagine, guys, if these companies that I mentioned to you find it not feasible anymore to operate inside Canada because of the retaliatory tariff that JT answered Daddy Trump with?
I am announcing Canada will be responding to the U.S. trade action with 25% tariffs against $155 billion worth of American goods.
Dollar for dollar, tariff for tariff. The federal government has my full support to hit back.
There's a very good possibility that, number one, they might close down. Number two, they might reduce production. Or number three, they just move their operation back to the US, which is what Donald Trump wants. Diba? Do you know how big of an impact that would have to the normal working people like you and I? Ang daming mawawalan ng trabaho. You know, people will lose their livelihood. Just imagine the effect that would have on the economy and the government. You know, it's scary. Scary to think about it. Marami pong magsasabi, you know, the same thing can happen in the States because there are Canadian companies that operate in the States also. Problema lang kasi the ratios are off. Mas madaming American companies that are operating in Canada versus, you know, Canadian companies operating in the US. And the magnitude of the companies, the sizes of the companies, obviously favors the US, right? So I don't know. In that way, I have to lean towards our American cousins. Talo tayo dun. Just my opinion. But if you have your own, please comment down below. I would love to hear about it.
We don't need their milk. We got a lot of milk. We don't need their cars. You know, they make 20% of our cars. We don't need that. I'd rather make them in Detroit. We don't need their lumber. We have massive fields of lumber. We basically protect Canada. I love the Canadian people. They're great. But we're spending hundreds of billions a year to protect it, doing it because of habit. And we're doing it because we like our neighbors, and we've been good neighbors. But we can't do it forever.
Sabi po ni Daddy Trump, we don't need your milk. We don't need your energy. We don't need your oil. We don't need your steel. We're self-sufficient. We can create all of those in-house. Totoo ba yun? So a lot of Canadians will argue, you know what? Ang dami nating ine-export na crude oil from Alberta to the United States. You know, we got them by the balls when it comes to that. Not necessarily, unfortunately, because believe it or not, the US, they have their own oil reserves. You know, they have one in Texas, North Dakota, Gulf of Mexico, Alaska. You know, the reason why, you know, they take or buy so much oil from Alberta is because of compatibility with their refineries, right? Dahil Alberta produces heavy crude oil, which is compatible with the current refineries that they have in the States. Dahil yung mga oil na extract nila from within the United States, it's I think it's called shale oil, which is a light crude oil, right? They can make facilities, you know, to refine the oil that they can extract from within the USA. You know, they could do that. That's no problem. That's why, you know, laging nilang sinasabi, you know, we could be self-sufficient. We don't need your oil. So like I said, the reason why they do that is because of compatibility reasons, logistics, and Canada is considered to be a very stable and reliable supply because we are a non-conflict country versus, I guess, Saudi Arabia and other places in the world. That's why it's set up the way it is. So another point that a lot of Americans bring up is the military. Sabi po ng mga Americans, you know, we are tired of protecting Canada because they don't invest enough in the military, which in many ways is kind of true. Dahil, well, okay, let's look at numbers, right? Canada has spent $26.9 billion in 2022. That was the money allocated for the military, right? Versus $746 billion that the US allocated in the same year moving forward. So, ang laki ng diferensya. So, a lot of people from the US say, hey, you know what? We're tired of protecting you. Because parang, in a way, Canada is using the US as an umbrella of protection. That's how the Americans take it. Don't quote me, but that's the sentiment that I'm getting from all of the comments and all of the videos and all of the news that I've been watching lately. And maybe in a way it's true, but one can also argue we're a peaceful country. You know, do we really need to invest that much in the military when realistically wala naman tayong kaaway eh? That's why everybody wants a Canadian passport, diba? Because, you know, tingin sa atin ng mga tao from all over the world is we're friendly. You know, we're very, very welcomed, especially in Europe, anywhere in the globe. That's why it's so nice to travel with a Canadian passport, as opposed to how everybody else in the world treat Americans when, you know, they're visiting places outside of the US. So, yeah, you know, an argument can be made about how much we spend on the military and safety, I guess. But is that enough? Is that really enough to create such a rift between two countries that have been, you know, working side by side with each other? So guys, I cannot blame the Americans for thinking the way they do. And if you are the leader of a free country like the US or Canada, you would want the same things too. You would prioritize your people, your country first. Kaya sinasabi ni Donald Trump, America first. And sinasabi ni JT, on the Canadian side, Canada first. You know, obviously because that's your first priority, right? You do what is best for your people and your country. I get that. So guys, based on everything that I have watched, have seen, have read, have heard, Americans obviously have the advantage. That's just my opinion, okay? But is it really important who wins? I think what's more important is let's recognize who loses. It's you and me. It's the common working person that loses. Unfortunately, you know, we are the ones that are going to hurt. We are the ones that are going to feel the pain. We are the ones that are going to be sacrificed. So let's hope and pray that these two countries, Canada and the US, can find a middle ground somewhere. Yeah, that's really important. That way we can continue to have good relations like how it was before. Both parties are happy. Both parties are content. And we can continue to become successful. We can continue to become great again, moving forward. So sana naman, meron po kayong natutunan kahit konti dito sa short video clip ni Kuya Puto. And if you have not subscribed, subscribe naman po kayo so we can grow this channel as big as we can. So this is Kuya Puto, guys, wishing you good night, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Stay hungry, stay humble, keep your hustle strong, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye for now.